Hello, this is Daniel back again, this time with a review video of the series called Inhumans. This was a limited series in 1998 through 1999. It ran for 12 issues and it was written by Paul Jenkins and drawn by Jae Lee. This was their first collaboration together. They later followed this up with a title called The Sentry. In this book you get a short introduction by Alex Ross. I'm not that familiar with his work, but Paul Jenkins, before he wrote this, he had a 4-year stint on the comic Hellblazer for Vertigo. And Jae Lee, he had his first. He had drawn at Marvel before in 1992, I think, on the comic called Namor the Submariner. Namor plays a small part in this book as well, and before he went to this book, he did a stint on Image at Image on various titles, including his create-your-own book called Hellshock, before moving back to Marvel and drawing this one. They also won a Eisner Award for Best Series, I think it was, or Best Limited Series, Best Series or Best Limited Series in 1999 for this one. What about the story and the plot of this book? The story takes place in the Inhuman city of Attilan, and in this story it's located on the island of Atlantis, which causes some problems with Prince Namor, the undersea Prince Namor, the Submariner, he might be called as well. It's causing problems because he has laid claim to the island of Atlantis, which the Inhumans have placed their city at and raised it from the sea. And he is unable to do anything about it because they have this dome around the city, as you can see, and it's basically impenetrable for any outside force to get into the city. So they are well protected in this book, but they are also surrounded by a mercenary force that's being funded by some shady organization, Russian mob and other types. I won't get into too much details about that, but they are basically there because they are convinced that this city holds great treasures and great technology that they can use for themselves. So that's basically the backdrop of the plot lines in this book. There are several little plot lines throughout this 12-issue series. In this limited series you get a closer look at the complexities of their society, ranging from the monarchy and the royal family to what a big part or big role the Terran Genesis has to this society, and the Alpha Primitives, who is a specially bred and cloned type of being who is basically forced labor down in the dungeons of this city to make the city run, and the backside of things that's or the backside of the Terran Genesis, because it's not always that the Terran Genesis gives the person who is forcefully evolved through the mist, Terran Genesis mist, or Terran Genesis gas mist, something like that. they might not get the desired ability which benefits the society as a whole, and you get to see what might happen to a person who gets basically rejected because of the undesirability of the certain ability that they might have gained or might not have gained. So it's a very interesting read, and this Turn Genesis really plays a big part in this story as it unfolds. The story in this book takes a bit of time to unfold. It's a bit slow sometimes, but it allows new readers to actually familiarize themselves with the characters in this book, and to understand the choices that are made, even though some might not agree with some of the choices and how the society is made up and stuff like that. And each character in this book is really unique, even though abilities might be the same. The look of each character is really something else. They are truly unique in this world, and what some might consider a deformity or something undesirable, in this society it's considered as something beautiful, as long as the abilities gained through the metamorphosis or Genesis are something that basically benefits society as a whole, like being able to shoot pure energy from your hands, or fly, or teleport, or something like that. That would be something coveted in this society, something that's really important, and something that's regarded as beauty in itself, the abilities. But if you don't gain any abilities, or if they regard the abilities gained as non-beneficial, you might be shunned. How about the artwork? The art by Jae Lee, it fits the story written by Paul Jenkins, and it helps build the world that they are trying to communicate through this series. It helps set the tone. I don't know really how else to explain it. I do like the artwork. Jae Lee, he mixes thin lines with heavy shadows. I can give you a look here, as you might see. And the colors are really nice. It's not that vibrant that I thought the 90s comics had. And here's another example. The colors are very earth toned, muted colors, and well, it kind of helps set a darker, more gritty tone to the comic. The artwork kind of reminds me of someone else as well. It kind of reminds me of Andrea Sorrentino's work at Green Arrow. Here's an example of his work. As you can see, thin lines with heavy shadows. I kind of like that style. It's mostly, it helps, oftentimes it helps set the tone of a story, as you can see. So that's just an example to compare his artwork with something that's more that's released 10 years or 15 years later. As you can see, here's another example of his work. It kind of reminds me of Andrea Sorrentino's work he is producing today. The artwork, I like it a lot. It's something that I enjoy looking at, and it fits the book itself. How would I rate this book? Overall, I really liked it, so I would say you should buy this book, because it gives you an in-depth look at their society and the struggles they face each day, how they try to find a place in the bigger world of the Marvel universe and their place among the humans in this world. So to me it's a very interesting read. I like the complexities of the story. I do want to read more of these characters. I know there are several ongoing series from Marvel right now. I think it's Uncanny Inhumans and other titles. I might look into those. If you have thoughts about those titles, if you have read them, or if you have thoughts about this book, if you think I'm out of my mind, please leave a comment. Or if you agree with me, leave a comment. I would love to discuss this book with you guys. And I hope you have enjoyed me rambling on about this little limited series, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I have if you decide to pick it up. And I'm hoping to see you down in the comments. Bye bye.